Are you tired of waiting? Tired of telling yourself that things will be different when the time is right, when you have more money, when the kids are older, when work slows down, when you finally feel ready? You have been saying that for a long time now, and somehow the right time never comes. I want you to think about the last time you said those words. Maybe it was this morning. Maybe it was last year. Maybe it has become so familiar that you no longer even notice you are saying it. It is just there, in the background of your life, quiet and patient, waiting for you to finally do something about it. But here is the thing. You are not the only one. Millions of people are doing the same thing right now. They have the same dream you have, the same plan, the same good intention. They are just waiting for the conditions to be right, for the stars to align, for the moment to feel safe enough to begin. And that is exactly the problem. Welcome. My name is not important. What is important is what I am about to tell you. Because if you are watching this, something inside you already knows the truth. It just needs someone to say it out loud. Today I am going to do that. This lesson is for English learners who want more than words. It is for anyone who has been standing at the edge of their own life, waiting for permission to jump. By the end of this video, the way you see time will never be the same. Here is what most people do not understand. While you wait for the right time, time does not wait for you. Your future is being built right now, with every choice, with every hour, with everything you do and everything you do not do. Think of your future like a garden. Right now, in this moment, something is growing in that garden. You did not plant it on purpose. You did not plan it, but it is growing. The question is not whether something grows. The question is what? Weeds grow when no one tends the garden, so do flowers. The difference is the hands that show up every day. If you are serious about changing the direction of your life, subscribe right now. This channel is built for people who are done waiting and ready to build. Your future is not waiting for you. It is being built right now. Truth 1, the myth of the right time. Let me ask you something honest. When exactly is the right time? Is it when you have saved enough money? Is it when your schedule clears up? Is it when your confidence is high enough, your skills sharp enough, your fear small enough? Because here is what I have noticed. People who wait for the perfect moment keep waiting. Not because the right time never comes, but because the right time is not a moment on the calendar. It is a feeling, and that feeling has been lying to you. Your brain is not trying to hurt you when it says not yet. It is trying to protect you. Discomfort feels like danger. Starting something new feels like a threat. So your brain does what it always does. It finds a reason to wait. It makes the waiting feel responsible. It makes the waiting feel smart. I am just being careful, you tell yourself. I am being realistic. I am waiting until the conditions are right. But that is not careful thinking. That is fear with a polite name. Hear me on this. There are two kinds of people. The first kind waits. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until the market is perfect. They wait until they have the right tools, the right mentor, the right morning. They are always almost ready. They are always almost starting, and years pass. The second kind builds. They start before they feel ready. They begin with what they have. They move before the conditions are perfect. They make mistakes early and learn fast. Think about Marcus and Daniel, two young men, same college, same city, same year of graduation. Marcus had a dream. He wanted to build an online business. He had a good idea too, but he wanted to wait. He wanted to learn more first. He wanted to save more money first. He wanted to feel more confident first. Daniel had a smaller idea, not a great idea, just a small online shop selling secondhand books. He started it in his bedroom with $40 and a free website. It was messy. It was slow. Customers were few. But Daniel kept going. 5 years later, Marcus was still planning. He had 3 business notebooks full of ideas, Beautiful ideas, detailed plans, not one of them started. Daniel's small shop had grown into something real, not a $1 million company, but a business, a real one, with customers, with income, with experience no classroom could teach. The difference was not talent, it was not money, it was not timing. The difference was that Daniel stopped waiting for the perfect conditions and started building with the only time he had. And here's what broke my heart about Marcus. He was not lazy, he was not stupid, he worked hard at his job, he was kind to his family, he was a good person with a real dream. But every night he came home, sat in his chair, and told himself that tomorrow he would finally start, that this weekend would be different, that January would be the turning point. January came, January went, and Marcus sat in the same chair, with the same dream, in the same life, telling himself the same story. This time, right now. Your future is not waiting for you. It is being built right now. Truth 2. What is being built right now? While you wait, something is happening. You may not see it, you may not feel it, but it is there, quiet and steady, building itself beneath the surface of your life, every single day. Go back to the garden. Imagine you own a piece of land, beautiful land, and you have big plans for it. You are going to plant tomatoes, build a fence, grow something worth looking at, but not today. Today you are busy. Today is not the right time. Maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe when things calm down. So the land sits, and while it sits, the weeds come, not loud, just quietly. One small shoot at a time. You do not notice on day 1. You do not notice on day 7. But by month 3, the weeds have taken over, and now the work to start is twice as hard as it was before. That land is your life, and the weeds are not your enemies. They are just what grows when nothing else is planted. Here is the thing most people miss. You are never standing still. You only feel like you are standing still. But every day of waiting is a day of practicing how to wait. Every morning you skip the thing you said you would do. Your brain gets a little better at skipping it. Every time you say not today, you make tomorrow's not today easier to say. Your brain wires what you repeat. This is not a motivational phrase. This is how the brain actually works. Scientists call it neuroplasticity. Every action you take, or do not take, carves a path in your mind. Walk that path enough times and it becomes automatic. You stop deciding. You just do what feels normal. And right now, for many people, waiting feels normal. For 1 second, think about what you have been doing for the past 6 months. Not what you planned, what you actually did. What were your mornings like? What did you spend your evenings doing? What did you choose, again and again, without really thinking? Because that repeated choice is what is building your future. Not your dreams, not your intentions, not the vision board on your wall, your habits, your defaults, your automatic choices at 8 in the morning and 9 at night. Think about the small choices you made just this week. When your alarm went off, what did you do? When you had 30 free minutes, how did you spend them? When you felt the urge to start something, did you follow it or did you reach for your phone and scroll until the feeling passed? Every one of those moments was a brick, and whether you chose to lay it toward the life you want or just set it down wherever it fell, something was built. Something is always being built. There are people right now who are building, not because they are smarter than you, not because their lives are easier, but because they decided that today counts, that this hour counts, that the small action taken right now will compound into something they cannot yet imagine. And there are people who are watching those people, telling themselves that their turn is coming. You are not paused, you are moving. The only question is which direction. Your future is not waiting for you. It is being built right now. Truth 3. The identity you build in silence. There is something more dangerous than lost time. It is the person you slowly become while you are waiting. Most people think that waiting is neutral, that it is simply a pause between who they are and who they want to be. But waiting is not neutral. Waiting is a choice. And every choice is a vote for who you are becoming. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, puts it this way: you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. What he means is this: it does not matter what you want. What matters is what you do every day without thinking, because that is what your life becomes. And here is the quiet danger. When you wait long enough, you stop thinking of yourself as someone who will start. You start thinking of yourself as someone who waits. It happens slowly, so slowly you do not notice. At first you say, I am going to write that book, just not today. Then you say, I am the kind of person who always plans to write but never does. Then one day you say nothing at all, because it no longer feels like a plan. It feels like just who you are. That is identity drift, and it is one of the most painful things a person can experience, not because it hurts loudly, but because it happens quietly, in the space between who you meant to be and who your daily choices are making you. Think about Clara. Clara always wanted to write. Since she was a girl, she had stories inside her. She bought notebooks, beautiful ones, with soft covers and clean pages. She researched writing techniques. She read books about storytelling. She highlighted passages and took notes. She was always getting ready. 3 years passed. The notebooks were filled with plans, outlines, ideas. Not one story was written. Her neighbor Maria had no special notebooks. She had a cheap pen and an old laptop. She sat down one evening and wrote 2 terrible pages. She knew they were terrible. She kept writing anyway. Messy pages, wrong words, clumsy sentences. 18 months later, Maria published her first short story collection. It was not perfect, but it was real. Clara read it and felt something complicated: pride for her neighbor, and a quiet sadness for herself, because she understood in that moment that Maria had not been more talented. Maria had simply voted differently. Every day, with her cheap pen and her old laptop and her 2 terrible pages. Every vote counts, even the small ones, especially the small ones. Look at the gym shoes sitting by your door, the guitar in the corner of your room, the business idea in the Notes app on your phone that you have not opened in 4 months. These are not just objects, they are evidence. Evidence of a gap between the person you want to be and the person your daily choices are building. And I want you to sit with that for a moment. Not with guilt, not with shame, but with honesty. Because the gap is not permanent. The gap is just information. It is telling you something important. It is telling you that there is still a distance between your life today and the life you know you are capable of living. That distance is not a sentence. It is an invitation. The good news is this: the vote is not over. Every single day you get to vote again, and one vote in the right direction does not just move you forward. It starts to change how you see yourself. You stop being someone who waits. You start being someone who acts. That shift is everything. Truth 4. How to start when you do not feel ready. Let me tell you the most important thing I know about starting. You will never feel ready. Not completely. Not in the way you are imagining. That feeling of total confidence, total preparation, total certainty that the time is right, it does not come before you start. It comes after. Sometimes long after. And if you wait for it, you will wait forever. Here is the truth about readiness. It is not a condition. It is not something you reach by preparing long enough, or learning enough, or saving enough. Readiness is a feeling, and feelings follow action, not the other way around. Think about that for a moment. Most people believe the sequence goes like this. First you feel ready, then you act. But the real sequence, the one that actually works, is the opposite. First you act, then slowly you start to feel ready. Nobody finds courage first and then jumps. You jump, and the courage comes on the way down. Maybe right now you are thinking about something you have wanted to start. a business, a course, a difficult conversation, a creative project, a new habit, and maybe you are telling yourself that you just need a little more time, a little more knowledge, a little more certainty. But ask yourself honestly, how long have you been saying that? 3 months? A year? Longer? And in all that time, did the certainty come? Did the readiness show up? Or did it stay just out of reach, always a little further ahead, always requiring just one more thing before you could begin? J.K. Rowling did not feel ready when she started writing Harry Potter. She was unemployed. She was a single mother. She was living on government support in a small flat in Edinburgh. There was no quiet office, no perfect writing schedule, no sense that the conditions were right. There was a cafe, a baby in a stroller beside her, a pen, and a story that would not leave her alone. She did not wait for the right time. She wrote in the only time she had. Kobe Bryant did not feel ready at 4 in the morning when his alarm went off. Nobody feels ready at 4 in the morning, but Kobe understood something most people spend their whole lives avoiding. The feeling of not being ready is not a stop sign. It is just a feeling, and you can act anyway. He called it the advantage of the dark. When everyone else is sleeping, when the world is quiet and the gym is empty, that is when the gap opens. Not because the dark makes you stronger, but because most people wait for daylight to start. Now think about what James Clear calls the 2-minute rule. When a new habit feels too big to start, want to start writing? Write for 2 minutes. Want to start exercising? Put on your shoes and walk to the door. Want to start your business? Open a document and write 1 sentence about your idea. 2 minutes is not the goal. 2 minutes is the door. Because starting is the hardest part, not because the work is hard, but because the brain resists the beginning. Once you are in motion, staying in motion is easier. The friction is at the start, so make the start so small that the friction disappears. A weak mindset says, I will start when I feel ready. A strong mindset says, I will start and readiness will come. The gap between those 2 sentences is the gap between the life you have and the life you want. You have enough time. You have enough to start. You do not need a better plan or a clearer path or a sign from the universe that today is the day. You just need to begin. Right now, with what you have, in the conditions you are in. That is how every meaningful thing in this world has ever been started, not in perfect conditions, in real ones. Truth 5, the compound truth. Warren Buffett made his first investment at 11 years old. 11, not 25, not after college, not after he felt confident enough or experienced enough or old enough. 11 years old, with a small amount of money, buying 3 shares of a company he believed in. Most people hear that story and think about talent, about how some people are just born knowing. But that is not the point of the story. The point is this. Warren Buffett did not become one of the wealthiest people in the world because he was smarter than everyone else. He became what he became because he started earlier than almost everyone else. And then he kept going. For decades. Quietly, consistently, without stopping. That is the compound effect. It does not look impressive at the start. In fact, at the start it looks like almost nothing. 1% better today, 1% better tomorrow. 1 more page written, 1 more customer called, 1 more early morning when you could have stayed in bed. None of those moments feel significant, not one of them. But here is what mathematics does with small consistent actions over long periods of time. It turns them into something almost unbelievable. 1% better every day for 1 year means you are 37 times better by the end of that year. Not 2 times better, not 5 times, 37. The problem is that most people quit before the compound effect becomes visible. They do the work for 2 weeks and see no result. They do it for a month and feel like nothing has changed. So they stop and they go back to waiting for the perfect moment. And the clock keeps moving. David Goggins was not born a Navy SEAL. He was not born an ultramarathon runner. He was overweight, working a night job spraying cockroaches in restaurants, and deeply unhappy with his life. He had every reason to say the conditions were wrong. The timing was bad. He was not ready. Instead, he started running, not well, not fast, painfully. With bad shoes and no plan and a body that was not built for it. He ran anyway, and then he ran again and again, until running became who he was, not just what he did. Goggins says something that I want you to hear clearly. He says that the most dangerous thing in life is not failure. It is comfort, because comfort keeps you exactly where you are, telling you that where you are is fine, that you will move soon, that the time is almost right. Comfort is the voice that sounds like wisdom, but is actually fear. Now think about where you want to be 5 years from now, not vaguely, specifically. What do you want your mornings to look like? What kind of work do you want to be doing? What kind of person do you want to have become? Now think about this. 5 years from now, you will arrive somewhere. That is certain. Time will pass, life will continue. The only question is where you will arrive, and the answer to that question is being written right now. In your choices today, in what you do with this evening, in whether you decide that today counts or whether you add it to the long list of days that did not quite feel right enough to begin. The people who will be where you want to be in 5 years are not smarter than you. They are not luckier. They are simply already building, already planting, already running in bad shoes on an imperfect morning. Here is your challenge, not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Name one thing, just one, the thing you have been waiting to start, and do the smallest possible version of it before this day ends. Not the whole thing, just the first 2 minutes, just the first step, just the door. Because your future is not waiting for you. It is being built right now. And what gets built is up to you. We have covered a lot of ground today. We talked about the myth of the right time, that feeling your brain creates to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable, to keep you exactly where you are. We named it for what it is, fear with a polite name. We talked about what is actually being built while you wait. Not nothing. Never nothing. Weeds or flowers, something always grows in the garden of your life. The question is only what you are planting. We talked about identity, about how the person you become is not decided by your dreams but by your daily votes. And about how waiting long enough turns from a habit into a belief, and from a belief into an identity you never chose but somehow ended up with. We talked about starting before you feel ready, because readiness is not a condition, it is a reward. And it only comes to those who move first. And we talked about the compound truth. That small, consistent action taken now and again, tomorrow and again the day after, builds into something that no single dramatic moment ever could. So let me leave you with 3 things to carry with you. 1. The right time is now, not because the conditions are perfect. They are not. Not because you are fully ready, you are not. But because now is the only time that has ever existed, and the only time that ever will. 2. You are always building something, every day, with or without your permission. Your choices are constructing the person you will be and the life you will live. The only question is whether you are building on purpose. 3. Start small, start messy, start anyway. The 2-minute door is real, walk through it today, not someday today. The garden is waiting, and every single morning, you get to decide what grows. Which lesson from today hit you the hardest? Was it the myth of the right time, the identity you build in silence, or the compound truth that small actions become everything? Tell me in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this video moved something in you, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Not because it will help the channel, because it might change their day, and their day might change their life. Your future is not waiting for you. It is being built right now. Keep listening, keep growing, and keep building. And remember, every story you listen to is building your mind and your English at the same time. The life you came here to live is waiting for no one. I will see you in the next one.